Record.
Okay, so again, welcome. My name is Debbie Champagne. I'm the product specialist for DacEasy. If you want to, mute your line, you can go ahead and hit *6, and that means you can talk and no one else is going to hear you. But if you do have a question or a comment, you can unmute the line by, again, hitting *6. And screensavers might, if you're not using your mouse at the time, can come up in the middle and you just want to make sure you either turn it off or hit your mouse to reactivate the screen. So the agenda for today is we're going to start by going over what is the Business Center. We're going to do a little bit about navigation, the workflows that are available in the Business Center, dashboards, reports, administrative tools, the resources, Crystal Reports access, and activation. Again, if you have a question, just let me know. You can speak up, or this is a free-form discussion, so we have about 1 hour. We shouldn't have any problem getting through it. So again, please ask any questions as we go along, and we'll get started. So what is the Business Center? I've provided an image here for those of you that haven't used it. Is there anybody here that does use the Business Center, or everyone here has joined this meeting for the purpose of understanding the Business Center? Is this new for everyone? Okay. I'm assuming it is. The Business Center will install automatically when you install DacEasy. You don't have to purchase it separately. It's actually a placeholder for each of your companies, whether you have one company or multiple. It provides access, and it holds all of your information per company, per profile. You can have access to all modules. Let's say you use accounting, payroll. You have your single profile holds both access to both of those modules. There's workflows available in the Business Center for quick navigation. We have administrative tasks that are not available in the module that are in the Business Center. And DacEasy supports multiple screen sessions in the Business Center, unlike that of the modules. So those are the main quick purposes of the Business Center. So beginning with navigation, for those that do use the module, you still have access to the normal module movement. Like if you use accounting, when you click on accounting at the top, you're going to get the usual drop-downs, file, transactions. Same with payroll. You're going to get the same process, entry, process calculation, and the same is for order entry and point of sale. So those are going to be familiar to you when you're in the Business Center. Let me just jump over to the Business Center. I've got the sample profile open right now. You can see that at the bottom. So again, if you're accustomed to using accounting or the module itself, you still have the same drop-downs that you do if you're accessing the module itself. Same with payroll, file, edit, employee information. Same with order entry, process order entry, ship orders. You still have your posting menus. So that we're all used to. And that still remains in the Business Center. The first thing you'll see in the Business Center is the menu toolbar. You have available options of Profile, Tools, Windows, and Help. The Profile drop-down is going to list each of the companies you have. It gives you the ability to create a new profile. You can remove a profile. You can set up your defaults. Under the Edit menu of Profile, this is where it stores your company information and data paths, and it holds your Business Center user access information. So if we jump over here, I'd like to show you the company information screen. Now again, that's under Profile and Edit. You put in your company name and address here and all the information you see here. We click on Paths, and it identifies the profile and each of the data paths I have in the profile. So for instance, in this sample profile I've got accounting, order entry, payroll, point of sale. So I can access all of these from one screen. So we also have a tools menu under the profile option where you can back up restore. These features are nice because you can back up all modules contained within your business center at the same time. There's an option to schedule tasks. You can schedule an automatic backup if you like, and you can also schedule alerts, which we'll go over a little bit later. You can also change the program date. There's an appearance option which allows you to customize the toolbar in the business center if you like. And we also have an options tab under profile where you can review your backup and restore logs or change the default workspace. Now we're gonna hit the workflow option. When you open the business center, it's going to open to the workflow, which is the first thing on the screen is vendors and purchasing. So we have 8 different workflows here, and each workflow selection groups the activities. So for instance, the vendors and purchasing, which is the default again when you launch a business center, gives us access to vendors, which brings up the vendor screen. Products, we can print or we can create purchase orders. We can print purchase orders. So when you click on these little nodes, some of them have drop downs. So like I can create my merchandise received from here. I click on that. I can print checks from here. So all these nodes under vendors and purchasing is specific to vendors and purchasing. If I go to customers and sales, this workflow is specific to billing, products, services. So again, if I click customer node, it's going to bring up my customer screen. Create my invoices right here, enter sales invoices, but I also have access to cash receipts, and I can post from here. Same with order entry. Orders and shipping brings up specific order information, and we have an employee workflow. Everything is accessible from the screen. You've got employees, we've got federal and state tax tables, we've got process our entry screen, we've got our calculate screen, print our register, print the checks, print any reports, direct deposits, and post. The daily sales is specific to point of sale for those of you that use it. Banking and financials is a workflow specific to cash receipts and payments, reconciliation, and posting. We also have a period closing workflow to help assist in closing the periods in the year, which it brings up all the nodes you need to complete that task. Jump back to the PowerPoint. So any questions on each of the workflows that are offered in the Business Center? Again, this is just going over the workflows. So the next part I want to go over is the dashboard. Dashboards are offered in the Business Center. It's an instant snapshot view. And when you click on that option on the toolbar, it brings up 5 different dashboards. One for your account balances, one for sales, customers, vendors, and products. So we'll jump over here. Click on dashboard right here. It's going to generate a dashboard for each of those bank accounts, sales, and it's just a quick review of different, whether it's products or vendors, customer information. Some of these you have the ability to send this information to Excel, or you can print it right from here. Any questions on the dashboard? And that's accessible only within the Business Center from right here at the top. There's also a reports menu in the Business Center. It's instant reporting and viewing, meaning when you click on it, it's going to bring up the trial balance or the balance sheet or the income statement. And there's a report section per module, whether we've got payroll specific reporting, order entry, point of sale, and these are all the accounting ones. These can be printed or published to Excel. There are next and previous buttons on that page, which I'll show you in just a moment. But the unique thing about it, which a lot of people like this, is that you can drill down on the reports as they come up, and it will bring you to the source transaction. So in this example here, I've drilled down on this amount, and it brings up this cash transaction, showing me, the transaction number. It's impacting the savings account. Jump over to the Business Center, and I go to Reports. These are the options in this particular profile that I've created. If I click the hyperlink, the trial balance, it's going to bring it to the screen. And I can click on any of these amounts, and it's going to bring me to another view, which this transaction was tied to a payroll account, transaction, excuse me, payroll transaction number 4. And back, and at the bottom here we've got your first page, previous page. We can go to the next page, or we can go to the last page. You have an option to regenerate over here, and you have an option to print. If I go back to Reports, we also, you see it becomes underlined, and that will bring up the report, but I also have the ability to click this icon to set the defaults I want at print time, which you're all accustomed to. If I just want to run it for one account for a specific date range. And these are instant reports that are only available in the Business Center. Questions on the report section of the Business Center? So the next in the Business Center is Administrative Tools. It's got a few things under it. We have the ability to create business alerts. They're alerts that you can, or rules that you create for accounts, customers, vendors, products, and employees. Like in this example here, I selected to create an alert for product. I want to know the condition being no sales activity for 30 days. And so when I generate that rule, it will instantly bring up to the screen, well, these set of products have not been sold for the last 30 days. Jump over and I can go Administrative Tools, Business Alerts. So this is the alert that I was just speaking of. If I want to make a new one, I'd go to Rules. This is the current rule I've made. I'm going to make a new one. And let's do it for employees. So the conditions that are for payroll, regular hours exceed amount, gross wages exceed a certain amount, vacation, we could run one on sick time, review due, date due, review past due. So let's say vacation, I don't know that I have anybody. Let's see if we have anybody that exceeds an amount of, well, that's one out, less than 1 minute. So if I click Next, I want to do it for all employees. And you can also generate an email and have it sent to yourself when you generate this rule, so that or like somebody in the office that you want them to know so they can deal with it. So this rule is employee vacation balance exceeds 0.01. Save it, and then we run it, and there is nobody that has a vacation rule for that. So that's good. So again, you can set different conditions for accounts, customers, vendors, products, and employees. And that's one of the functions of the administrative tool. We also have a payables reminder under administrative tools, which allows you to stay up to date on any vendor invoices. You click on it, it'll generate if you owe any vendors, and you can pay them at that time. And you can also, under administrative tools, schedule tasks. You can schedule automatic backups through DacEasy, through the Business Center. And that's something unique that you can't do at the module level. On the resources page are where all of the user guides or the manuals are held. We have one getting started, one for the business center, accounting, payroll, order entry, point of sale, job cost. You can either print them out or you can just view them in a PDF right from that resource page. So if I wanted to look at, if I need information on accounting, it brings up the user guide. Your table of contents is here. If I want to know how to work with inventory, it will bring the manual to the screen. And you can either print just a page or you can print a section or series, or you can just view it. That's a nice guides. Also from the Business Center, for those that have purchased the Crystal reports, you can access Crystal reports through the Business Center. There are some predefined gallery reports that already exist out there, and you can run information from them. You can create new Crystal reports from there. We do not sell the Crystal reports application. You have to go to the SAP or what used to be Business Objects to get the version that we support, which is 11. And also through the Business Center is the activation area where you enter your serial number and it stores your serial number and activation keys. Any questions?
Can custom reports in the report section, can you add custom reports like from the publisher to that section?
To the report section, you cannot. Yeah, these are the ones that you only have access to. Yeah, it's not customizable.
Okay.
So that's kind of a quick overview. I would like to make, so when you first open the Business Center, which we can do now, you're going to be prompted for a company profile logon. It does require a username, but it doesn't require a password. So in this case, this station, I've entered DacEasy, and when I hit OK, it's going to bring up, like I said, it defaults to the workflow for purchasing and vendors. This is the name of your profile, so you know which one you're in. And you will bring up a list if you have more than one so that you can switch, and it would list up to 5 under here. Right now I just have one sample. If there were more, it would say 2, and then the name of that profile, and then go on and on. If I want to make a new profile, just call it Furniture Factory. There's no limit to the number of profiles. And each action will ask you if you have a password to enter it, so it is protected. In this case, I do not, so I just said OK. And it asks me which type of data files do you want to add. New data would mean if I want to make a new company. Existing data would mean if I have a company that already exists on the network or my local computer. In this case, I already have a company. I'm just going to add accounting. So that's a single module. You browse to your path. In this case, it found it already for me because it's at the module level. Finds the path, and I just click Finish. So now I'm in the company called Furniture Factory. That's the profile I just created. So now I have 2. Because it's only one module, let's say I want to change the appearance. I only have one module, it's accounting, so I want it to be accounting specific, and I can change that. So now that my menu options are only specific to accounting. File, edit, transactions, journals, posting, reports, the same menu options that you're accustomed to at the module level. Now let's say there's a task that is not part of the workflow. Let's say I use cash reconciliation often. So I want to make an icon at the top here specific to reconciliation. I can go to Tools and Appearance, Toolbars. I'm going to say New, and let's call it Cash icon. Okay. New. Cash. Customize. It's in accounting. It's under transactions, cash entry, reconciliation. So now I should have a reconciliation icon. So when I click this icon I created, it brings up that specific screen for me instead of having to transactions, cash entry, reconciliation. So this is customizable as well. Again, you can change the program date here, and the module will read it. Options. You can change this workspace if you like to something other than what you see here. If you want your own, like another web page to come up. It's currently set to using the default, so it's going to bring up the workflow page for me. But you can change it. Under backup is a history button, and it will, let me go into my sample profile. We'll always see it changes at the bottom. The history button, whenever you make a backup through DacEasy, it's going to list the time, the date, what the backup was, and where it resides, where you chose to have it reside. Go ahead and make a backup so you can see how that works. I'm going to make a backup of those three, the profile, accounting, and payroll. What it does, it defaults it to a dated folder under backups of that profile. I just click finish, and it makes a backup first of the profile. It'll then switch to accounting. When that's completed, it'll switch to payroll instead of individually making the backups as you would at the module level. Do we have any questions? Using the Business Center or setting it up?
If you make a backup through the Business Center and it's showing in the history, is that visible to anybody who uses the Business Center on a network, or is it only visible to you when you're using your copy of the Business Center?
It's only going to be visible from your station that it was made at.
Okay.
That's just the backup log, but you could, the user, if they knew where you made it from the other station, you could browse to that if they had network access and pick it up. So it can be picked up anywhere, but it's not going to show you at the other station because it is station specific.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Debbie, can you hear me?
I can.
Hello. Okay.
Yes.
I have a question concerning the top of the screen where it has the profile, tools, windows, and help, and then the next section is the accounting, payroll, order entry.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
One of our employees lost all of that, and I can't figure out how to get it back onto her screen.
Okay. Do you see? There is a docking. Oops, that one over there. What do you see? Do you see profile, tools, windows, or help?
Yeah, it's those four, but then
That's
the
it?
accounting, yeah, she lost all the rest of it.
It could be. You could go to Windows and Toolbars and make sure the standard is checked.
Yeah, we tried that, and it didn't come up. Because on mine, it's just under my my name, and it comes, everything shows. But when I put in her name as the
right, it's specific to her. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can move things around. Like, do you see any handles like right here? Like this
no,
stuff
there
can be
wasn't
moved,
any.
or down
Yeah,
arrows?
Yeah.
She,
We tried all of that and nothing. It just
nothing. Okay. There is a file you can delete to reset that.
Okay.
So that she'll get a brand new screen. Wondering the best way to get you that information.
Well, otherwise, I can just call support too and ask them.
Well, I mean, ordinarily it would be you would click Windows and you have these options here.
Yeah.
You'd want standard to be checked because that's going to show you everything.
And standard is the accounting, payroll, order entry.
Right.
Up on the top. Okay. Well, what the heck? I wonder why that didn't work.
In appearance, of course. Do you know if you have classic selected, or do you have just one of these accounting, order entry, payroll?
Yeah, I don't remember what she has on hers, so I'll have to go.
There
back
is a file. If you use, have you registered for the portal yet, the customer portal?
Yeah, we support. Did. Yes, we did.
Okay. If you go in there, we've got support chat, or you can enter a ticket there. It's going to come to us in an email form, and we'll get right back to you. Or you can call us, like you said, and we'll get you that file name.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I have a question. Can you
go
hear
ahead,
me?
please. I sure can.
I'm just trying to start using this, and when I log on under controller and put my password in, I get an open profile reserved username message.
Okay. It means you can't use the word controller.
Okay.
So you want to use something else.
Okay. Do I have to set up something else or just use anything else?
You don't have to. Are you going into profile passport area?
I was just trying to
edit. You're just trying to open it?
Yeah.
And when you just put in a name under the username.
Okay.
And skip the password. And hit OK.
Okay. Now I'm in.
And then if you find that you do want to set that up, some security, you would go to Profile, Edit Passport, and the passport is what the passport does is it holds. You have the Business Center username, and if you want a password, you would enter it here, password and confirm. That's just for the Business Center. It can also hold if you have when you access the module and it requires you to put in a username and password. You can store that information in here in the Business Center, so you're not prompted every time you go into accounting, payroll, order entry, or point of sale. If you just want the Business Center to hold the information so you're only prompted when you access the Business Center, you can do that here at the passport area.
Okay.
Okay, good. You're welcome. Any other questions or comments or? You want to, on our customer portal, and I've provided the web address here, we have the Business Center Field Guide, which goes over everything that we did today. You want to register. You'll access the knowledge base and just type in Business Center Field Guide, and that'll get you, everything we talked about today. But also, let's not forget, under Resources of the Business Center, we've got the Business Center Guide, and this is another guide which just goes over most of the stuff that we did today. So again, that's on the portal for those of you that haven't registered for it yet, customers.sagenorthamerica.com. Well, that went quicker than I thought. Do we have any comments or further questions? If not, I'm going to let you all go. Well, have a great rest of the day, and thanks for joining. And we'll have another next quarter. I think we are sending out emails for those of you that have registered on what the next one will be and when. But we do one once a quarter. Should be notified shortly of our next scheduling. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.